So the first part under software testing module number 5 is unit testing. Unit testing. In unit testing, the main focus is on the assessment of the smallest unit of product design, like the component of a software or module. So the main focus in unit testing is on the assessment of smallest unit of product. And what is the smallest unit of product? Component, some component of the software or a module. The unit testing has a limited scope and emphasizes on the internal processing logic and data structure. Multiple modules or components can be tested in parallel. So unit testing considerations. The unit testing is illustrated diagrammatically as follows. The test strategy is conducted on each of the module interfaces. So on each of the module interface, test strategy will be conducted to access the proper flow of input and output and its correctness as per the requirements. Also, the local data structures are accessed to ensure its integrity in the execution of the algorithm. All independent paths, also called as the basic paths, are evaluated through the control structure, and it keeps a track on the programmer and makes sure that at least each statement in the module being executed once. Boundary conditions are also tested so that the software works properly within the boundary or within the limits. All error handling parts are also tested. Thus, boundary testing is one of the most significant unit testing methodology. Unit test procedures. In parallel with coding steps, usually unit testing is conducted. Before the start of coding, also unit test can be conducted. This method is mostly used in the agile development process. The design information gives sufficient help for the developers to establish the test cases and uncover the errors. The developers always couple the set of test results within the test cases. So this is a unit testing structure. In most of the applications, a driver is considered as the main program. So the driver is a main program. The main program itself accepts all the unit test case data to the component under the test, and results are also printed side by side. In the above diagram, we observe that the stubs replace the modules of the program and are tested next to the driver. So stubs are present and the stubs will replace the module to be tested, and they are placed next to the driver. The stub is also considered to be a sub-programmer. These subprograms make an interface with the main program to complete the test. Logically, both the drivers and the stubs are the software that are written but not submitted to the customer, and thus are considered as overhead. So these are written but they are not submitted to the customer, so they are said to be as a overhead. So you need to eliminate this overhead. It is always recommended to keep these overheads simple to reduce the cost. So overhead is something which is a disadvantage. So stubs are actually a disadvantage because what are they doing? They are increasing the overhead. So what is recommended? Recommended to keep the overhead simple to reduce the cost. But overhead cannot be made simple in all cases, and hence unit test integration can be postponed to the integration testing. So instead of unit test, go with the integration test, because in integration test you are eliminating the stubs. Therefore, you are eliminating the overhead problem. Therefore, the cost will be automatically reduced.